Hello. I'd like to talk a little bit about how I have purified my own experience over the last 10 years or so, and some suggestions. So this video is for people who are new to Islam or thinking about reverting, inshallah. So first of all, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked Allah to purify his soul. So there's a sort of self-focus. We need to take responsibility for ourselves, our own responsibilities as an individual. Okay, so this is very beneficial for somebody like me who grew up surrounded by people without any self-awareness. I learned that, I internalized that, so I'm not used to thinking about myself and prioritizing myself. That's something, inshallah, we need to focus on as a starting point, because we can control our own decisions and our own actions, and importantly, our own intentions. So inshallah, we need to sort of purify our input and our output. Okay, I've written a few things down here because there's a few different aspects I'd like to remember, inshallah, to mention. Okay, so first of all, words. So when it comes to output, what we're saying, we are not allowed to speak behind others' back. We are not allowed to gossip about somebody. So that is a good thing to start with. Practice not doing that, inshallah. And then there are certain words it is important that we do use. So anything that we talk about in the future, it's really, really important that we always use the word InshaAllah, because we don't know what's going to happen. We can have a good intention. And like I said a minute ago, that's the most important thing. So we have a good intention, and then anything we say about the future, we have to add the word InshaAllah, which means something like, if Allah wants. Okay, so it's Allah's permission, it's not up to me. I can have the good intention and carry out good actions. Inshallah. Okay, so then Alhamdulillah, that's another important word. Now, I'd probably like you to go and learn these words from a native Arabic speaker, please. A third word which is sort of important and useful is, and again, check this pronunciation, not from me, astaghfirullah. So if we say something wrong, or we notice that we did something wrong, or even if we didn't and we've got nothing to do, we can use this word and say it. And it's a bit like taking something back. It's like asking for forgiveness for small or large things. So we need to be using that often, inshallah. Okay, so I'm going to move on to input. I cut out watching news so long ago that I'm not even sure how long it was. Over 10 years ago, alhamdulillah. And what I found is that when there's anything I need to know about what's going on, I hear it somehow. I receive that information somehow, alhamdulillah. So you can do that. You can cut out all the negativity that's coming into you. You don't need to be inundated. You can select what you are exposed to, and you need to do that, inshallah, in my opinion. Social media, if there's some forms of social media that you feel negatively about, or they cause you some addictive behaviours and so on, you can just delete them completely and just practice saying no every time somebody asks you, oh, don't you use such a thing? No. They're going to keep trying to force you to download that app, but just say no. Okay, it's practice assertiveness for us, inshallah. Social media as well, you can curate all the content very strictly, and it just becomes really easy. The more you do this, nothing negative pops up because these things are all designed to show you things that you're interested in, aren't they? So if you're always watching positive Islamic content, it's just going to suggest more positive Islamic content. Alhamdulillah. So just keep on curating it on a regular basis. You also need to do that with the people who you spend a lot of time with. In other words, be selective about who you spend the most time with and who you spend any time with if possible. And it's very helpful to have a segregation of the... basically, I don't have any male friends, and it's much better that way, alhamdulillah, for me personally. So I would recommend that. It's recommended anyway in Islam, but if you're a new Muslim or you're thinking about this, you can just start to not have any male contacts unless they are necessary contacts you have at work, etc. Just have a sort of like a privacy from people in general, and focus on contacts of your own sex, inshallah. Music, you can cut out types of music. You can cut out music if you don't sort of depend on it a lot, because some people are used to depending on it to sort of wake up in the morning or get a certain mood. Recognise that as something which you're depending on something other than Allah. So it can be something that you work on, inshallah. Work on finding out if there's other things that you can do to get the same effect, inshallah. And be intentional about what you listen to. So again, it's just like not having the news on, not just turn something on and let it play and let it wash over you, unless you know that that's a beneficial thing that you want to listen to. There is a kind of thing that you can listen to called nasheed. So if you're trying to reduce the amount of music you listen to, then you could listen to nasheed, and it's Islamic, so it's much more positive for your energy, inshallah. Decluttering is really helpful for helping form new habits. I mean, I am a massive fan of decluttering because it suits my personality. Because I'm dyspraxic, I always have way too much stuff everywhere, and it's difficult for me to know what I'm supposed to be doing at any given moment. So the more clutter-free the environment, the better it is, inshallah, and I can focus on the things I want to focus on. So if you want to form new habits and you want to start praying, for example, create the optimal environment for that to make it easier for yourself. Food and drink, if you haven't, if you're new to Islam and you live in a Western culture especially, well, actually not just Western culture, you might be eating things like pork and ham, which are not allowed in Islam. So you'll need to start checking more carefully and checking ingredients, because they can have it in the ingredients, even if it's not that blatant. It contains those things that we're not allowed to eat, unless it comes to necessity. So there are sort of clauses for this, that if we need to eat and we only have certain things available, we're allowed to eat those, inshallah. So it's about our safety and our own protection and our own health, doing the best that we can, inshallah. And we're not allowed to drink alcohol in Islam. So I have a small tip for this. I wasn't a drinker anyway, alhamdulillah. But just to kind of make it clear cut for myself, I also cut out anything that was cooked in alcohol. So that cuts out quite a lot of ready meals that you can get over here and that kind of stuff, and some certain things at restaurants. But there are usually things that I can choose, and it just makes it more black and white for myself, to know that, for example, if something has been cooked in wine, I'm not going to choose that item. So that is that. Yes, so just going to take it back to the beginning. Oh, actually, I'm at 10 minutes, so I'm going to pause here. That's about preparing yourself and your environment, inshallah. Thank you.